Welcome to Mock 10 Sports. Glad you could join us on this segment tonight. Real quick question. Are Josh Heupel and the Tennessee offense the best unit this league has ever seen? Someone try to make the case. They may not be far off. We all know about the stats. The number one in scoring offense, number one in total offense, and number two in passing offense, etc. We know all about those. You could also make the case that there are a lot of similarities to some previous offenses that have came into this league in the past 30 years and taken it over. Steve Spurrier, coming over from Duke back in the 90s. Urban Meyer, 2006 through 2009, kind of reinvented the spread. Tim Tebow, all those guys stepped up and kind of made a name for who they were, reinvented the offense that he brought over from Utah. Urban Meyer changed the game in the SEC in the mid to late 2000s. Gus Malzahn, about a decade ago, hurry up, no huddle offense, kind of took the league by storm for a couple years. There's no denying that Josh Heupel's offense, wherever he's been at Missouri, head coach at UCF, and now at Tennessee these past 2 seasons, is done whatever they want on offense. It's a proven offense that is going to put up points year in, year out. Now, the real question is, can it be stopped? Some people say, yeah. I think it's a lot easier said than done. But completely stopped? No, it can't. They have too many weapons and the most efficient quarterback in the country right now. I don't know if I'd say best. He's playing great right now. I would give him the Heisman Trophy, don't get me wrong. But he's by far the most efficient quarterback right now, especially in the system he's in. Now, do I think some teams have put themselves in position to be their best selves? I'm talking about these defenses that Tennessee's played so far. Have some of these defenses put themselves in their best positions to stop Tennessee? And I don't think you can say that. I'm here to give you an answer or two, give you 2-3 answers to the test on how to limit this Tennessee offense. Keyword being limit. But understand, the goal is to contain this offense, knowing you're still going to give up some plays because they are that good. You have to contain, you can't stop. Stopping is an unrealistic goal against this offense. They're going to get theirs. You have to contain it. First and foremost, this may come to a surprise for some when you hear Tennessee's offense, hear this, because a lot of people think about Tennessee's passing game. But stopping the run, this Tennessee offense is going to be key. As much as everyone talks about the passing game, like I mentioned, it's the run game that sets up the passing game, if you want to be completely honest. That's how it is with a lot of offenses. But even for a pass-heavy offense like Tennessee, it's the base of their offense. They're averaging right at 200 yards per game right now. If you try to allocate more defensive backs to cover the wide receivers in nickel and dime packages, it makes the box lighter for the Vols to run right at you with Jabari Smith and Jalen Wright. And they're willing to. If you're going to go put a bunch of lighter dudes in it 5-6 guys in the box, they're going to run right at you. Passing be damned. Also, if you try to go with a more pass rush heavy package like Alabama did with their cheetah package, you get too light again as well. Even some guys on your front. I mean, Will Anderson on the website comes in at 243. Dallas Turner at 240 pounds. And Chris Braswell comes in at 240 pounds. Those are Alabama's edge guys that can create a pass rush, and they do a great job at it. But they lack the required girth to consistently hold up versus the run. I mean, add in the 3 other guys. Let's say when they were playing with 6 guys in the box, add in the 3 other guys that would be around the box, and you would have 4 out of the 6 box defenders at 240 pounds or lighter. Going against 5 offensive linemen, and you chip it, you throw in Jacob Bourne or Princeton Fant in there, that you were just outweighted. It's like a boxing fight. The 2 guys fighting aren't even the same weight class. It's exactly what it is. So pick your poison from that, and it wasn't good for Alabama, obviously. And then finally, I think the big key, and there's a lot of playoffs of this big key that I'm about to be, but you have to be aggressive. Be aggressive. Take some chances. Now, let me preface this by saying I understand Tennessee has an answer for everything you run from a coverage blitz standpoint, but you have to mix it up between man and being aggressive and throwing in a little zone concept. But bringing pressure, playing some man free, challenging the wide receivers at the line of scrimmage, those will help disrupt these timing routes that the Vols want. I really believe no one has brought the fight right out of the gate to this Tennessee team or offense specifically in this situation right out of the gate yet. No one has brought them and hit them in the mouth right out of the gate yet. It just feels like teams are just kind of pity-patting, filling Tennessee out. In Tennessee, before you blink, it's hit you in the mouth, your nose and lip are bleeding. You're down 14, 17 to nothing. My example of that is the LSU game. You fumble in the opening kickoff, get them 2 short fields. You can't do that against Tennessee. And I know it's hard to replicate this in a week of practice with your scout team. It is, because they go at such a tempo that only they can replicate. Yes, and you have to understand, when I'm saying bringing pressure, I'm talking about blitzing and I'm talking about jamming you at the line of scrimmage. But I also know that if I play with fire a little too much, I'm going to get burned at times. So yeah, if you're going to be aggressive, play man to man, you're going to give up some plays because they have good players too. But you can't get panic. You can't panic and get away from the plan. Tennessee's done that to a lot of teams, I think. Just overall, even on some special teams and offensive decisions, their offense puts so much pressure on these defenses and overall teams that these coaches, I think, kind of lose their track and panic and start going for it on fourth down and stuff. That's how good they are. They get you out of your game. But I also think there's a high reward to putting pressure and challenging the wideouts at the line of scrimmage. I think you can get some turnovers, get some negative plays, or in some third and longs that they can't get off, and you can bring your pressure in, and then you're forcing either some turnovers or some punts, and you need just about 3 or 4 of them. The Tennessee offense, this is how they set up their offense. They like to overload the boundary, especially using stacked formations to help create confusion and ultimately create separation at the second and third levels. These matchup zone coverages that people have been playing and are obviously not working. It's tough on the defense. The defenses are playing it's an overall tough standpoint from a communication standpoint. If you go back and watch the Kentucky game and even Alabama, you're playing a bunch of palm up defense. You got guys looking at the sideline, looking at each other on the back end, trying to say, hey, I know that we're doing some pattern matching and passing it off, but Tennessee goes at such a rapid pace. It's tough to communicate, hey, this is what we're running. Oh, we're cover 3 here. We're dropping back. We're dropping 8. And people are running right by people. It's what happened to Alabama. From some people I heard within the building, Alabama going into that week did not trust their back end overall speed. They didn't trust the speed in the secondary. They were concerned Tennessee was just going to run right by them. But instead, Alabama got a little bit paralysis by analysis, just thinking, guys talking too much on the back end instead of just letting their players go play. The personnel on the back end, Alabama has it where they can go play with these guys if they can disrupt them at the line of scrimmage, just like Georgia has the guys that they can do, that they can go play man-to-man against Tennessee. And I'm not going to say they're not going to go give up plays like I was saying. They're going to go give up plays, but it puts you in the best position to contain this offense. You have to disrupt, like I keep saying, the overall timing with Hendon Hooker and his receivers. As crazy as it sounds, you have to speed them up post-snap offensively to disrupt their timing. They already go fast, but post-snap, speed them up. Make quick decisions. Make them throw into tighter windows. Batted balls. Let him get hit a couple of times. Jam some receivers at the line of scrimmage. Like I said, get them off their timing. I honestly think Georgia's going to have to bring pressure 40 to 45% of the time if they want to have a chance in this game. You heard me. If they want to have a chance in this game, they need to be aggressive and blitz, bring pressure 40, 45% of the time. I think that's what it's going to take. To wrap this up, put a bow on it, I think this is the most anticipated from one side of the ball versus another since the 2019 LSU-Alabama game, the year LSU won it all with Joe Burrow. Everybody going to that week was like, man, what is LSU's offense? I mean, they look good, but what is LSU's offense with Joe Burrow and them, with Jamar Chase and those guys, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, guys like that, Justin Jefferson, how are they going to handle a Nick Saban Alabama-led defense? It was very, hey, this is the exam. Are you for real or not? I think people believed in them, but it took that. This seems very similar. People believe in Tennessee, but I think people want to see what they do on the road in Athens against probably the best defense, one of the top 2 they'll see all year, when Georgia's had a lot of time, not really time, but they've seen how Tennessee has attacked a lot of teams and how some other defenses have attacked Tennessee and it not work out for them. I mean, if you're into matchups and schematics, that side of football, if you're into schematics and matchups of football, the Tennessee offense going against the Georgia defense is what wakes you up on Saturday morning. This will be the best offense versus defensive matchup we will have all year. It's a playoff game. It is a true playoff game. This is the best game of the year going into it. Again, back to the point, let me be clear in saying I don't think you can fully stop the Tennessee offense. What I mean by that is I think you have to just sit there and say, hey, we can stop these guys when you're going into the week prepping, if we can hold them to just about 28, 30, maybe 32, 34 points, I feel like we did our job in preparation. And then we also did our job executing that game plan on Saturday. At the end of the day, you got to accept Tennessee is a very good offensive team with some talented fits in that system from a personnel standpoint. They're going to get theirs. Josh Heupel and Tennessee are going to get theirs, but I do think you can put yourself in a better situations by providing pressure and being aggressive on the back end. Remember, don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms, on Twitter at Mach10Sports, on Instagram at Mach10Sports, and also on Facebook. Also, we also do 2 podcasts a week. We do a week review on Tuesdays, and we do a weekend preview on Thursdays. Those will be launched around lunchtime on Tuesday and Thursdays. Again, I appreciate you joining us on this segment of Mach 10 Sports. I hope you have a great rest of your week. Keep following us on Mach 10 Sports for the best information on SEC sports.